Shai Hashem HaKadosh, which is the true God of the Bible. A lot of people like to get it confused and worship something else that's not really there. Also, we like to give all double honors to the apostles and elders of the GMS. Peace, blessing, mercy, and salvation to all the brothers that are out there teaching the truth and sincerity in the name of Yahweh Hashem Shai. So, I just want to talk about a couple of things. If you can get Matthew 10, verse 5 to 7. I just want to talk about a couple of things because people still think Jesus is a thing. People still think that. I'm gonna look up the letter J. Father, I already know the answer, but we like to look up stuff. We don't just like to say things.
You want me to get that?
Yes, go ahead.
This is the book of Matthew 10:5. These 12, Yahushua sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and to any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
The lost sheep of the house of Israel. So of course Israel's not going to know who they are. They're going to be lost. And this is one of those things that gets them lost. If you can Google it, please Google it. Okay, it's the father of the letter J. And it'll give you some things to look up. It'll even tell you the year. So on the year 1524, this man named Gian Giorgio Grissino was the first to explicitly distinguish I and J as representing separate sounds. So he was the one that gave it the function. You know, he's like, we're going to use this letter for this to confuse you people.
And I think on the 1611, it's the I, right?
Yeah,
So
I have it, and it's the I.
Oh, God.
We're going to show you. We're going to show everybody. That's why it's important to go back to the older version of the Bible, because the 1611 was the one that King James published for literally all men, so they could know that Yahushua is the so-called black man, and this is his word, and the letter J, you know, is an invention.
It's locked at too. Isn't it the Apocrypha in the
Yeah, the
1611?
Apocrypha is in here. So it's a complete Bible. You know, people like to get simple. Simple. Well, my Bible, well, your Bible was printed afterwards. But now that we're more seasoned and I'm a little older, I can have those heated conversations with the calm attitude.
Yeah, right.
Because the letter J is the doozy. Because it says here in his Epistola del Tricino de le Letter Nuevamente Agente, well, it says it's in Italian. I was reading it. I thought it was English. So it says Tricino's epistle about the letters recently added in the Italian language. And what's the Italian language? Latin. That's what they were using in Rome. That's what the dragon was using back then, 2,000 years ago. Okay? So that's the thing that you have to get into your brain. Language is a part of a deception.
Yeah, he made a video a long time ago, 3 years ago, saying the English. He said the English language is a deceptive.
That's a deception because you go to court, right? And they have English that they're speaking to you, and then they have the legalese, which is a form of English but only for lawyers. So you're like, what the fuck happened? You know, they'll tell you, like, do you understand these charges put against you? And then to understand what it means to basically accept the blame. So you can say, no, I overstand, or no, I do not understand, but I do comprehend.
Or when they plead no contest, you're saying that you're guilty, but without,
It's
saying
not
no
even
contest.
guilty.
Yeah.
Or like when you say, I plead the fifth, they'll bring them these charges, and all you have to say is, I plead the fifth.
Yep.
And then if the later they find out that you did do it, it's not perjury, because if you say no, that's when it becomes perfect.
Yeah, because there was I forgot this, I think he was a director or something. So he was having his people go to a different country and bring 12-year-olds or 11-year-olds.
Oh yeah, Epstein.
There you go, there you go. And when they asked him, was it true that you would send one of your people to go get girls to bring them to you? And what he said? Oh, plead the fifth. Yeah.
So that's part of the deception. So this guy is and this is from Wikipedia. There's other website you can get. So it says here, when used international phonetic alphabet for the Y sound, it may be called God or Jod. See? And there it is. There it is. When used in the international phonetic alphabet for the Y sound, there it is. That's what the letter J is for.
Yeah.
So really, it's not Johnny, it's Yanni, right? It's,
I think in Spanish too, Mexicans they say it like that. You know what I mean? You say job, you ever hear say job, they say yo. You know what I
That's
mean?
funny. See how it happens like that to be just natural and animals.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the first part. Read that one again in Matthew 10 and 5.
These 12 Yahushua sent forth, commanded them, saying, go not into the ways of the Gentiles, and into cities of Samaritans enter ye not.
So you don't go into the way of the Gentiles, nor the way of the Samaritans. So these are the letters the Gentiles use. Okay, so now what's the difference? You gotta take it for what it's really worth. If you take this letter J stuff, look at if I somehow built them a time machine, took some Jordans back to the Roman era, well, 2,000 years ago, they'll be like, what the hell is this? What's the J? Or they'll be like, man, what is that symbol? You'll have to explain to them and they'll be like, no, it's not. We use this letter. So you'll begin into arguments, and now try to get that same Jordan, go into the future and say this is 2,000 years old. They'll be like, man, that's 4,000 years old. That's fake, man, because the letter J is this. You gotta be a historian. So now, who are we supposed to go talk to? Read that in 7, verse 7. Matthew 10, 7.
And it's Matthew 10:7. And as you go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
So if the kingdom of heaven is at hand, and the kingdom of heaven is only for the Israelites, we're only supposed to talk to those people, the lost house of the sheep of the house of Israel, the lost sheep of the house of Israel, because they don't know who they are. And they could be looking like anybody. They could be looking like an Asian, Moabite. They could be looking like a Edomite. They could be looking like a Amite.
Like that tennis player Naomi Osaka. Her dad's a Jacob, but her mom's a Ammonite.
Oh, there you go.
She beat one of the sisters, Serena or Venus, one of the sisters, the badass tennis players. Yeah, she beat one of them though, and then I think it was Venus. She ended up crying because Serena, because she was crying because she lost it against her. She's a young Jake though, but her mom's an Ammonite and her dad's a Jake. But she's a badass tennis player though.
So, see, that's because they're part of the house of Israel. So the house of Israel has got to know these things. So can you get John 7 and 35? And then let's go to Matthew 1 and 21. Because this is going to be simple math.
When we get a
John 7 and 35. Then said the Jews among themselves, whither will he go that we shall not find him? And will he go unto the dispersed among the Gentiles and teach the Gentiles?
So now we're talking about the dispersed. Everybody knows about dispersed, right? Now look at the word diaspora. Right? If you go into that word dispersed, because that's simple. you don't go into the word, you're never gonna find out.
Yeah, because the word is diaspora, and it says of Israelites dispersed among foreign nations.
Israelites dispersed amongst foreign nations. See? Not just the whole planet, even though we're all over the whole planet.
It says especially and concretely the converted Israelite resident in Gentile countries.
So that's a pretty good explanation, because in here in the book of Philippians 2:8 it reads, and being found in fashion as a man, he humbled himself and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross. So now we have a man that came from what? Can you read that in Matthew 1:21?
Book of Matthew 1:21. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushua, for he shall save his people from their sins.
So if you break down the name Yahushua, means he delivered. So you get into a problem and you want to go up and prepare. You say which means please, please, please. Yahushua, which means deliver me, because the Yah means me. You put it at the end of the word. If you put it at the beginning of the word, it means he. So Yahushua means he delivers or he saves, because Yahushua means saves, right? Perfect example. Now that this verse is all over the planet.
I got this.
Go ahead.
There's the book of Hosea 1:10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. It shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
And that's right here. Because the only thing that they don't allow us to be is who we really are, is Israelites. And they're trying to put everything in their power to get us to go against our power. Like the vaccination. Everything that they have you do is you have to respect the person at work. You can't make gender-based comments. Some jobs, are real strict on it. Some jobs are lax. But it's still the order of the day. You gotta do what you gotta do. And some people take that job so serious that they're gonna get. It's like injecting a chemical into your body. And just because the panel is formed, you believe what that panel says. Well, if I had enough money, I could form a panel and say eating pork is bad, and then that would ban pork, right? But I don't have enough money, so everything that's not good is already there. So I'm gonna continue on in the book of Philippians, chapter 2, verse 9. Wherefore Yahweh also hath highly exalted him and given him a name which is above every name. So now you have to get into consideration, what are you saying? What are you calling on Jesus for? Who's that? Would it hurt you to do some research? Because who are you really calling on? Oh, yeah. Jason, right? You're calling out JC, and there's a lot of clowns out there that, because of that name, do foolish things. Like this guy, that Jesus Christ guy who starts breakdancing.
Oh, that, yeah.
And there's people coming up against other camps with that Jesus bullshit, but the camps themselves don't know how to shut it down. This is how you shut it down. Like, hey, hold on. Let's talk about one thing at a time. About the letter J first. Right? What does that mean? And you diffuse it like that, because if they keep going, then you know they're definitely possessed. And so let's talk about possessions now. You get possessed when you say that name, Jesus. You're casting demons on your own damn self. That's why people get so hyped up. That's why people, when we tell our friends in the world, look, the Lord is a black man. His name is Yahushua. They're like, he can't be in there. They get all excited. I've been told that a lot of times. They get upset because then they say, what? Look at these, because they get it right away. Look at these black people.
And then from the tribe of Judah, they would never believe in a million years that,
Yeah.
it's hard for them.
It's hard. It's like winning the damn lottery, to tell you the truth. To hear you, it's like you don't believe it, but it's real. The spirit is on you. You got to deal with the reality is that you really are an Israelite.
Because when you look at the Olympics, that's a good example. Like, who's winning those gold medals? And that's Jake.
And they'll have 10, let's say the Japanese team for judo. I was watching the Kyokushin Karate Championship, and the whole team for Japan, they were doing good, but the Russians kept fucking them up. The Russians kept winning, and when a Japanese guy loses, he starts to cry, man.
Yeah. I noticed that too.
They're like, oh. Because that's where that karate originated from. And now they got people pretending to be them. See, that you should be crying that somebody's in Israel pretending to be you.
Yeah. And then a lot of Jake's in Russia too, huh?
Yeah, hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you can tell by somebody's performance where they're what, even though they seem like an Ammonite, they're Israelites, man. Why would an Israelite cry or get so passionate about that? That's just the way it is. And then let's go to Revelation 1 and 14 in the classics. So let's start at 7. Revelation 1 and 7. So now I'm in Philippians 2 and 10. That at the name of Yahushua every knee should bow, of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth. So this word is actually Iesus, which is a Greek way of saying Yahushua. Okay, so there's that. So let's get to Revelation.
Revelation 1 and 7. Behold, he cometh with clouds, and every eye shall see him.
So he's coming with clouds, which are the chariots, which are filled with Israelites, black men in the sky, coming to get revenge on you for the things that you've done on our people.
So like to back you up off the cloud, got to finish.
Go ahead.
This is the first book of Acts 1 and 9. And we had spoken these things while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight. The disciples, they seen him go up.
So we're saying clouds, but you should be shaking in your knees. You should be shaking in your knees. The clouds are the UFOs. That's where a black man called Yahushua, which you people call Jesus, is sitting in. He's gonna come collecting souls. He's gonna come collecting souls, everybody. You don't get jealous of these people, because I know it's hard to live in Babylon. They got tons of cars, they got big houses, they don't have problems like us. They're gonna have problems when we don't have problems, and that's in the kingdom. And we're gonna be their problem. We're gonna have a fucking switch of events. It's gonna be like night and day. You know how you don't expect things to happen? Like this homeless man that lives here, I put some money in there, I hid some money in there, he doesn't expect it. So, man, because he cleaned up this area.
Yeah,
I didn't expect it. And obviously there's someone sleeping here, or someone's camping here. Whoever did that must have cleaned this up, right? So he's doing work for the Lord too, but he doesn't know it. Maybe he's just cleaning up for himself, but we're also using his place, even though it's not his place. See, that's how we are. We're using Esau's place, even though it's not our place. We're here for a little bit. We're slaves for a little bit. Just get
That could have been an angel, cleaning it up for us, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Go back to Revelation 1
And they also which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him.
Oh, that's a different topic.
Kindred.
Of all those who pierced him.
Oh, not yet.
And the folk and the kindreds mean everybody. Now it's talking about everybody on the planet. Now it's talking about everybody on the planet. Now you can put yourself in here, Esau, and other nations, you Hawaiians, you whatever. I don't even care, man. Just put yourself in here because this is for you. You're gonna look up at the sky and you'll be like, what the fuck? Why is Granny May getting killed? And then Granny May's gonna be getting killed at the same time. One of her granddaughters will be getting saved. It's just gonna work like that because we're all over the place. Like those girls in the car we driving, and we don't know which one is gonna be taken, but the scripture says there'll be two maids somewhere, and then one of them's gonna leave suddenly. Continue on.
Revelation 1 and 8, I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the ending, said Yahweh Shai, which is and which was and which is to come, the Almighty.
So that's it. The Almighty is gonna come in those clouds. His word is gonna be here, and his word is gonna be in the form of Yahweh. And that's gonna be something. You know how when you see a spark, but this spark is gonna ignite the whole world, and that spark is Yahushua. Carry on.
Revelation 1 and 9, I, John, who also am your brother and companion in tribulation, and in the kingdom and patience of Yahushua Mashiach, was in the isle that is called Patmos.
So somebody actually existed. You can look this man up. John. On the Isle of Patmos, which is a real island. Look up anybody look up Rome's history. They had a prison island called Patmos. And then he saw him. Skip to 14.
His head and his hairs were white like wool.
So now they got a form. Now his head and his hairs were white like wool. We were talking about that. His head was white because of all that knowledge. All that glow, that heavenly glow. And his hairs were white like wool. So now they have a texture, wool-like texture. Carry on.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So now he's got powers. His eyes were like a flame of fire because there was a real laser fire burning in those eyes. Not just because he's upset or he drinks wine, although he does drink wine, but he's got real fucking lasers, okay? You understand? It might mean that he's upset, but he's really got those lasers ready to shoot. You know how easy it would be for him to just shoot one laser beam through the whole planet and just destroy everything? Start all over again?
Because those angels,
Those angels have power?
No, I'm like Superman, you know,
Man.
laser that Superman shoots out of his
Yes,
ass.
but it's more powerful than Superman's because it'll go through anything. So let's go to the next one.
and his feet like unto fine brass, as if they burn in a furnace.
So now we know what his feet look like. Dark skinned feet belong on dark skinned people.
Yeah.
Oh, so like those angels, they're called the eyes of the Lord, right? So right here it's saying that his eyes are like a flame of fire. So those chariots, they're the eyes of the Lord, so they're shooting those flames of fire.
And how many lasers have they shot? You see all kinds of videos of them shooting down missiles with lasers, just shooting lasers, and even they're being shot at with lasers. So come on. So now you have that's the point that's gonna crack your that's gonna solve your problem right here. So this man has black people hair and he has black people feet. So what is he? He's a dark skinned man from the tribe of Judah, which is the Negroes, not the Hamites. And his name is Yahushua, which means he will deliver. And his father's name is Yahweh, which means he exists. So, you know, that was it. That was basically my lesson, but I'm going to close it out with this one again. Book of Philippians 2 and 10. I'm going to start at 9. Wherefore Yahweh also hath highly exalted him praising him. He's like, look, this is my son. He did all this for you. His blood was shed for you. And giving him a name which is above every name, that at the name of Yahushua every knee should bow of things in heaven and things in earth and things under the earth. So everywhere you see that is going to be people bowing down to Yahushua. That was my lesson. Brother Martel going to come up.
It's a spirit because today I want to speak upon the house of Israel and us being laborers in truth, you know. So one thing for sure is knowing the name, you know, the Yahushua, because through him, they'll go through the Father. So yeah, in today's lesson I want to speak upon us laboring. You know, and last week how we spoke about putting the penny in the 5 gallon, and eventually we come out here, eventually that 5 gallon is gonna fill up. And you know, when a time when Yahushua comes, we have enough pennies in that 5 gallon to cash out. Because what is it when you fill up that 5 gallon? Like eventually, you know, you're gonna cash out. So we're out here trying to get a penny. You know, we're dumping it in the 5 gallon though, because you know you just can't be. You have to be in season, out of season, and it's true. Because one day that, you know, imagine like if you only go once a month, you're gonna be missing 3 pennies. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're a camp though, just goes out once a month. Your you know, when the time your Yahushua comes, this cloud and the clouds, your gallon's gonna be like halfway, and ours will be at least at the top, ready to cash out.
We're going to have like 3 or 4 gallons. 3 or 4 or 5 gallons.
Yeah. The more, let's say, the more the better, you know?
Because if you do the math, there's 52 weeks in a year. We've been going to camp 3 years plus strong, and we have fruits. We have some brothers came in, some brothers fell out, some brothers came in. You know, we're doing business every week, so that's 115 camps.
So you brothers got like 3-4 gallons already filled up.
But there was times when we did 2 camps a week. You know, we were doing that for a bit, and then you know you still got to work because then the COVID came, and then that put a cramp in our stuff.
You can get the book of Matthew 20, 1 through 2, and you get the book of Matthew 4:19. Yeah, so you know we're like last week how we spoke about we're not here just for glorious looks though. You know, we're out here to actually wake up the hopeful elect. You know, we're not out here just to talk though, because if we're here just to talk, we wouldn't have the camera, you know, the phone recording us. So we're out there literally throwing the net out there, trying to be fishermen.
It's Matthew 20:1. For the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his yard.
Yeah, so the laborers are the servants though. We're the servants though. And can you get up to this?
And when he had agreed with the laborers for a penny a day, he sent them into his
vineyard, which represents the house of Israel. So we're servants, we're laboring into the out there for the house of Israel. You know, because we're not out here for anyone. And how the brother spoke upon Yahushua, he died for he died with the sins though, for his people. So that's specifics, you know. He didn't say all, he said for his. You know? So us out here, we're out here for these people right here. You know what I mean? We're out here trying to wake them up. So that's why we're out here, you know, every once a week we'll come out here, and then plus throughout the week we make videos. So we're actually laborers in the street.
So, what about that? Can you put a house light bulb into a car light bulb headlamp? And it has to fit, right? It has to be made just for that. This truth is made for the whole house of Israel, but ultimately, right now, it's only for the elect.
Yeah.
So we got to rejoice at that one.
Yeah, especially looking at these times. So look at these times right now, man. Like you got to put 2 and 2 together. I mean, that's if the spirit, you know what I mean? If the Most High gives it to you, because man, I'm looking at especially last year when the C-19 hit, man, people some shit like that. You know,
never seen that shit.
You never seen that. So, and then eventually, you know, people are kind of, you know, in the world are kind of a little waking up to like, oh, you know, NWO and the things.
I got a piece of phrase. This is Matthew 5:16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven.
See? And through us, he's using us, because we're just vessels. He's just using us to wake up the hopeful elect, you know? So, because now it's true, there's a precept too that when you see someone like a prophet, someone in the light, you see the in his face though, you know? You can see like the shininess in his face.
Yeah.
Like out of, you know?
Like Yahushua, when John seen him, there was a light. His head and his hairs were white as wool.
Yeah.
That's the light.
Yeah, it's the light. Appearance, you know? So, you get a...
Yes. Matthew 4:19. And he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men.
Fishers of men. See? So you think we're out here just for us to just talk? No, we're actually like fishing though, you know? We're actually here fishing for the men. You know, the hopeful elect, the house of Israel. Because we, you know, we see sometimes, I see some Edomites passing by, but we're not for them, you know?
They look so intrigued. They're like, oh, what are they doing?
Yeah. See, so we're actually like fishermen, you know? And the net, we're throwing out the net, which is the word, trying to get the house of Israel. Oh, can you get Jeremiah 16? Because we're, like I said, we're not here for looks or anything like that. We're actually trying to catch, you know? And then once you labor, you gotta labor even more. That's why I remember when I first put up the first video, I just had to keep going. Something in my spirit told me, hey, you know, I gotta make more videos again, a video a day.
Let's keep going.
Just gotta keep going and going.
Yeah, because even drug dealers know that when you start making your first 1,000, so easy, you got to keep making more.
Because they got more and more.
Because it's just worth it, right? And then you become a millionaire, billionaire, and then you become full of yourself. When it's truth, you don't become full of yourself, but you become more humble and aware that, man, even though I don't have all these things, I must be valuable to the Lord.
Yeah. And that's what matters most.
Yeah. Because when you go to the store, you pick something out that you see, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
That Yahweh's picking us out. Like, look at these guys, they're driving fast cars and everything. But that's the way he was setting them up. He's setting us up to understand these ways so that when we get to be kings in the kingdom, that's why it's called the kingdom, we'll be ruling at a high level.